Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. assured the public that the 20 pesos per kilo rice program is not a temporary measure and will soon be available in more public markets nationwide. In his latest vlog, President Marcos said the program is part of the administration's efforts to provide affordable food and strengthen the agriculture sector through sustained collaboration between the national and local governments.
Sa pagtutulungan ng maraming ahensya ng national government at ngayon in partnership with the local government, 20 peso rice is here to stay. It is achievable, it is sustainable. Kaya abangan ninyo in your nearest public market.
The program is being launched through Kadiwa ng Pangulo outlets for vulnerable sectors such as senior citizens, solo parents, persons with disabilities, indigent families, and minimum wage earners. The initiative called Benting Bigas Meron Na or PBBM na was one of Marcos's campaign promises aimed to reduce the burden of rising food prices. Marcos encouraged newly appointed national and local officials who assumed office on June 30 to work together for service delivery.
Tapos na po ang bahagi ng politika. Serbisyo publika na ang haharapin nyo ngayon. Marami-rami tayong trabahong pagtutulungan sa lokal at sa national government at malaking bahagi ang LGU sa paghahatid namin ng serbisyo sa taong bayan.
The Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, on Sunday announced that 25 overseas Filipino caregivers from Israel arrived in the country. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak said the new batch of OFWs from Israel arrived at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, Terminal 3 in Pasay City on July 6. Upon arrival, the OFWs were immediately provided with comprehensive reintegration assistance. The repatriates were also given physical checkups by the Department of Health and the Manila International Airport Authority medical team. The OFWs received financial aid through Action Fund and Emergency Repatriation Fund of the DMW and Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA. Aside from that, there were given separate cash aid by the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, will also provide the repatriated OFWs with the training vouchers for upskilling while staying in the country. The 25 OFWs were the 39th batch of repatriates who arrived from Israel under the repatriation program of the government. The Philippine Navy, or PN, on Sunday confirmed the possible transfer of the Abukuma class destroyer escorts of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force. The PN is now undertaking preparatory steps for a joint visual inspection of the ships following the official invitation from Japan's Ministry of Defense. Abukuma-class destroyer escorts were designed for anti-submarine and anti-ship warfare, having a displacement of 2,000 gross tons and a length of 109 meters with a beam of 44 meters. It has a top speed of 27 knots and is armed with various anti-ship missiles, anti-submarine rockets and torpedoes, along with a 76mm main gun and 20mm closed-in weapon system. The delegation of naval experts from the PN will be dispatched to conduct an in-depth analysis of the ships. The PN said the initiatives reflect the deepening strategic partnership between the Philippines and Japan. It reinforces shared commitment to maritime security, interoperability, and regional peace and stability, PN added. In other news, the Philippine Coast Guard and Department of Justice, or DOJ, have completed a 3-day training program aimed to enhance its capabilities in maritime law enforcement. The training aligns with the directive of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for the PCG to strengthen the competencies of its station commanders. In a statement, the PCG said the DOJ conducted the legal training for coast personnel in Tagaytay City. The Coast Guard said the training ensures that maritime law enforcement is aligned with legal standards, thus reinforcing justice across Philippine waters. During the closing ceremonies on Friday, PCG Deputy Commandant for Administration Rear Admiral Hostilio Arturo Cornelio emphasized the importance of legal literacy and prosecutorial coordination in the Coast Guard's frontline operations. Deputy State Prosecutor Margaret Castillo Padilla said the DOJ vows to work closely with law enforcement agencies to maintain legal integrity from operations to prosecution. Moving on to business, the Clark International Airport has welcomed Shandong Airlines as it opens cargo services connecting China's Shenzhen province and Clark. In a statement, airport operator Luzon International Premier Airport Development Corporation, or LIPAD, said the new service boosts cargo connectivity between the Philippines and China. It said this supports LIPAD's vision of transforming Clark into a premier logistics hub in the region. Shandong Airlines, a subsidiary of Air China based in Jinan in Shandong Province, joins other Chinese air freight operators including Tianjin Air Cargo, Jiangsu Jingdong Cargo Airlines, China Postal Airlines, and Central Airlines. Other cargo carriers serving Clark include Skyway Airlines, UPS, and FedEx. In our news overseas, the 8 oil-producing countries under OPEC Plus have agreed to increase crude production by 548,000 barrels per day in August 2025. Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman agreed to hike production in a virtual meeting on July 5. This was based on a steady global economic outlook and current healthy market fundamentals as reflected in the low oil inventories. The 8 OPEC Plus countries previously agreed on December 2024 to adjust production from 2.2 million barrels per day starting April 2025. Their latest meeting followed the movement of oil prices due to the Israel-Iran conflict. The said group will meet again on August 3 to discuss September production levels. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the Pna Headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am William Theo. This is the Pna Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.